Alright, what's going on everybody? This is Sir Kirby, and if you're here for Fire Emblem or Pokemon, episode 24 specifically on Pokemon, you are in the right place, even though it does not look like it. I just opened this up so I could talk a little bit about what's been going on recently. So, if you've gotten here through my Fire Emblem Path of Radiance playlist, much like the Pokemon playlist, the first thing you're noticing, although I don't think I'm putting this in the Pokemon playlist, but the first thing you'll notice is that this is not Path of Radiance, nor is it Fire Emblem at all. You would be correct in noting that. Essentially what I wanted to do, well, what I needed to do, regardless of how I did it, was make a video talking about what's been going on. For me, I just wanted to have something else to do in the background, so I could just kind of talk through it, well, not necessarily having to be fully, mentally engaged, I guess, in either the, holy shit, in either the game or what I'm talking about. I can kind of go back and forth through both and make sure I hit all the points that I wanted to talk about while not having to just have you guys stare at me for however long this takes. So, if you don't follow me on Twitter now meaning when this comes out, or if you are watching this much later than the upload date, which is end of March 2020, what you don't know about the Fire Emblem series specifically is that my PC just died. We're not entirely sure how it happened or what I did, if it was even something I did, but essentially what happened was we had complete hard drive failure, which means everything that was on that PC that was not backed up, as far as I know as of right now, is gone. That included my Fire Emblem save file, that included all of my previous video files, that included a lot of my graphics templates, among several other things that were not YouTube related. So, the Fire Emblem Path of Radiance series in its first iteration is going to end here. And the reason I'm not going to try to continue it is because what I could very easily do, and I'm aware of this, I want to talk through my thought process here. I very easily could just re-download the ROM and replay the game up to where I was. The reason I don't want to do that for Fire Emblem, at least not Path of Radiance specifically, if it was a different Fire Emblem game then maybe. But that game takes a long time to get through, especially if you're like me and you're not very good at the game. I like to think I'm decent at strategy games, but I know I'm not the best out there. I know there's people better than me, I know there's people worse than me, I like to think I'm kind of in the middle of the pack, but knowing that game takes a long time to get through. As a result, I don't want to go through all of that again just to get back to the point I was and then burn myself out because I went through it too quick. And, you know, I don't want to, like, rush back to that point for that reason. And I also, since I can't recover the save file, there's no guarantees that even if I was able to do that, there's no guarantee that the current or the current stats, rather, as you guys know them, if you watched that series at all, they could be entirely different. I may not even use the same characters going through it as I did because, quite frankly, I already forgot some of who I used. I know I used Astrid some as like a meme, and she ended up being really good. Soren, Void. Like, I could probably name all the characters that I used, but the point is, I'm not going to, even if I remember who I used, I'm not going to have the same stats, I'm not going to get the same benefits out of using certain characters because I got some really good level ups, I might not get some of the bad level ups that I got, and I might end up using somebody else that levels better. There's just way too many factors for me personally to justify having to worry about going through and trying to recover that series from that standpoint. And there could be something I could do where I try to, like, do that over an extended period, you know, and try to start up that series again, say, a month from now, so I can still get to that same point in the game, play like a chapter a day without completely burning myself out. The problem with that is that even if I do that, that's a month that I could be putting into another series that I want to do, because, like, by this point, I thought I would have about a month left of Fire Emblem, so if I were to restart it, say, May 1st, that would essentially be when I was planning on looking at something else, or at least, like, the very end of Fire Emblem. So by the time I would be able to do that, even if I had burnout avoidance in there, I still feel like I just wouldn't be as invested in the series because I'd already been looking forward to doing something else for a while now, for a few reasons. Don't get me wrong, I love the Fire Emblem franchise from what I've played of it, which is most of it so far. I still want to finish Path of Radiance because if you guys remember from when I first started that LP, that was why I started doing that LP, is because I never actually played Path of Radiance. That was one of the few in the middle that had skipped out on me, just because I couldn't find a copy of it for so long. Or a copy of it, or otherwise a way to play it. Everything else I found a way to play, except for, I want to say, like, the very early ones. Like, I haven't played Genealogy of the Holy War or anything in that vicinity. And I actually managed to miss on a couple of the more recent ones. I haven't played Echoes or Three Houses yet, although I have plans to do both. Point being, though, like, that was the only one kind of in the middle of the series that I'd missed, and that was why I was playing it, and I just thought it would be fun to do for YouTube in the meantime. Whoops. But yeah, so with all of that in mind, I don't want to put myself through the stress to try to rush through it and then burn myself out on it by the time I would actually get back to where I was. But I also don't want to commit to, like, alright, if you give me this long, I'll restart the series, because I was enjoying it, but I know that I'm trying to, like, grow a YouTube channel from the ground up right now, despite what my subscriber count at the moment will tell you. And playing a game that a lot of my close friends aren't into, and therefore aren't going to tell their friends about, isn't necessarily the way for me to do that, I feel. I think there's other games I could play that are a bit more popular that would, you know, have more people involved. That's not to say I don't want to ever play a game like Fire Emblem again, because, like I said, I really like that franchise, but I want to kind of put myself on the map, and I think the way that I can do that the best is to play a variety of games. Not just, well, a variety of games in the sense that I don't have one series that ends up lasting a calendar year, whether that was my fault or not. I'm trying to think. I think that's every major detail that I wanted to talk about regarding Fire Emblem, but yeah, basically the main takeaway is that's done. It sucks that it ended the way it did because of something that I couldn't really do anything about. This has been a lesson to me in the importance of backing up files. Always back up your files, because I hadn't been doing that for a long time. I did end up, my mom is an awesome person, and I would never tell her that to her face, because that's just not what we do in this well, that's not what I do. I make you guess whether you're good. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that big of an asshole to my family, but yeah, she's great. She got me a brand new PC, actually, because if you guys have been following the world news around March 2020, there's this little thing called, and I'm not supposed to say it on YouTube because they might block the video. Originally, when I had the idea to make this video to talk about what was going on, I was like, I'm not really worried about getting demonetized, because it's not like I'd be getting a lot of money from this anyway. But I don't want to get the video blocked outright, so I won't say it. I didn't need to do that. I won't say it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But because of that, we can't actually get anywhere to get the old one fixed. Otherwise, this might have been a much shorter problem to have, if that makes sense at all. Like, I could have had it fixed already had we not been dealing with everywhere being closed. So as a result, my mom just put the money down on a new PC for me. It's a little bit of an upgrade. Well, actually, in the fact that in regards that it works, it's a huge upgrade, but as far as just in general, even if they did both work, this is a little bit of an upgrade. And I appreciate that. She didn't have to do that. I could have just suffered, and if I really needed to, I could have made this video on my phone, like what I was talking about, where I would just, like, have you guys stare at my face instead of have something else to watch me doing in the background while I talked. But here we are, because she's awesome like that. The other concern here is, if you're here from the Pokemon series, you probably left already, because you're like, well, he's just talking about the Fire Emblem series. The Pokemon series is not having the same repercussions, thankfully, but there is one major thing that y'all need to be aware of if you're coming from that, which is why this might have ended up in that playlist. I'm not sure yet. But that would be, if you're coming here, and the title of this is definitely going to be Fire Emblem 55, and then I'll come up with something else. But if you're coming here from the Pokemon playlist, You may or may not have noticed that episode 24 does not exist. If you remember a little bit ago, when I was talking about all the files on the old PC that I wasn't able to save because I hadn't backed them up like an idiot, that included Pokemon 24. Now that series is actually being played on the Switch as opposed to any sort of emulator, so I still have that save file. That series will be continuing. We're just gonna have a weird gap for episode 24. Or if there was an episode 24, I probably just made a really stupid joke that wasn't funny, and it was like a 12-second video. If either of those are the case, here's the explanation for that. So hopefully, well, not hopefully, that series will be continuing from where I left off. Quick synopsis of episode 24 of what would have happened. We went through the bottom half of Route 9. Am I missing one somewhere? We went through the bottom half of Route 9, we went into Spikemouth, and I took out most of the gym trainers, but I stopped right before we got to the gym leaders, so I haven't gotten the 7th gym badge yet, but I've done a lot of the precursor work for that. Trying to think, what else is there to discuss? Episode 25, and hopefully the rest of the series should be coming out as normal. I still need a few more days to make sure I've got all the setup stuff working properly before I commit to, like, this is when this is all coming out. Because I don't know yet. Part of why I'm recording this with a game in the background is I'm making sure I have all of my setup stuff working properly. It appears to be fine, but like I said, just want to be certain before I start doing anything else. But yeah, so Pokemon will continue as planned. It'll just take me a few days to get everything set up. Fire Emblem, RIP. I lost the Iron Man, I guess. Or rather, my computer lost the Iron Man. Did I forget a chicken somewhere? Thinking out loud to myself while I run around here. Definitely short one. I think I know which one I'm missing, but I thought I grabbed that one. I think that covers everything, though. If there's something in particular that you guys would like to see as a next series, I can't promise that I'll necessarily be taking suggestions, but I am looking for ideas. See, I thought I went up here. Oh, look. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is from here exactly. I know what I'd like to do, I just don't know if it'll work out the way that I intend. We'll see. But yeah, I'll let you guys go. I'll quit tripping over my words now. Hopefully I didn't make too stupid a joke in any of the other videos about, you know, oh, I'm forgetting that one. Hopefully I didn't make any other too stupid jokes, like, oh, that actually is, somehow that reminds me of the last thing I wanted to say. If we're able to get the other PC taken in and fixed up where I can recover files from it, Fire Emblem is staying dead. I don't want to throw myself back into that after basically committing to, no, it's done, don't worry about it. So if we're able to recover that save file, I'll probably play through it on my own, but that won't come back to YouTube. What will come up, though, if we're able to get that done, is episode 24 of Pokemon. It might be in kind of a weird order, where I upload, like, episode, say, 32, but then the next day is the day that I get the PC back and it's fixed and I'm able to recover that file. If that happens, episode 24 will go up as, like, lost footage. I can't make any promises, though, because I don't know what the process is going to be like to try to fix that. I have a few other things in mind that I don't want to disclose quite yet because I'm still talking to a few people and trying to work out details. Trying to think of anything else that I really need to discuss now. I think that's everything that I can come up with. There might be a part 2 to the updates video if I think of something that I didn't talk about. But that's all the major points I can think of. I'm alive. The old PC is not. The new one is here. Some files were lost, others are kept. And I'm trying to kind of regain my footing in this whole thing and make sure everything works correctly before I start getting back into things. and we will call it good there. So if you stuck around for all of this, that was a rather mundane video, I think, but it's updates that needed to be put out there, especially for people who don't follow my Twitter. By the way, if you don't follow my gaming channel Twitter, follow the channel Twitter. I'll link that below like I always do. That's weird. But yeah, so thanks for sticking around, hearing out the updates. Now everybody's should be on the same page as to what's going on. I did notice, actually, that I just recently gained a subscriber, and that subscriber, I don't know who you are. Sorry to have to bring you into the channel on this note, but, yeah. The PC died, and I don't know which series you subscribed because of, if it was even because of a series. So if you subscribed for Fire Emblem, hopefully you'll stick around anyway and be cool about it. I am interested in playing through another Fire Emblem. That's interesting. I am interested in playing through another Fire Emblem game on the channel at some point, but because, like I said, I'm still trying to grow right now, and evidently that's not the A+ way to do it right now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to commit to playing through another Fire Emblem game on the channel at some point. I'm just not going to commit to when, because I've got a bunch of other things that I need to work on first. We'll figure it out, though. I said enough rambling 3 minutes ago, and here I still am. So I'll see you guys in my next video, whenever that may be. Take care. Stay